Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network and iHeartRadio. Welcome to Hunting for Answers, a true crime podcast. I'm your host, Hunter, and today we're highlighting a case from Tallahassee, Florida. In late September 2020, a 58-year-old woman was last seen by her neighbors outside her home on Wesley Drive. Weeks passed, then months. Posted notices appeared across the windows. Packages piled up on her doorstep. Police searched the house more than once, and local reports indicate cadaver dogs were used during those searches. Still, nothing was found. Nearly 2 years later, after the home was sold at an auction, a cleanup crew made a discovery that would turn this missing person case into something far more tragic and far more mysterious. This is the story of Avis Anderson. Avis Thomasina Anderson was 58 years old when she disappeared in the fall of 2020. She was a graduate of Florida A&M University and a retired employee of the Florida Department of Revenue. Avis was also a member of Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church and the Order of the Eastern Star, a woman rooted in her faith and community. Like many people, Avis was also navigating personal struggles. Her family has openly acknowledged that she battled substance use, a struggle that had taken a toll in the years leading up to her disappearance. Still, to her family, Avis was a loving, faithful person. September 30th, 2020. According to neighbors, this was the last day they saw Avis Anderson outside her home on Wesley Drive in Tallahassee. After that day, no one saw or heard from Avis again. She was officially reported missing on October 13th, nearly 2 weeks later. By December 2020, local reporters visited Avis's home. What they found was deeply unsettling. The front door was still ajar. Notices taped to the windows, and on the front stoop, unopened packages sitting there, gathering for weeks. It was as if Avis had vanished, leaving her life frozen in place. Investigators looked for any indication of activity after Avis disappeared. There were none. No bank withdrawals. No purchases. Public records also showed missed payments. And eventually, the city of Tallahassee declared Avis's home vacant. This complete financial silence was a major red flag. Avis's family refused to stop searching. In December 2020, her cousin, Zarsa Shakespeare, made an emotional public plea for help. She said, "We need your help. We just don't want it to be another Black woman that is missing." She continued, "We still love her. We still want her. And Avis, if you hear me, my phone number has not changed. It is the same. Please call. We just want to know where you are and if you're all right, and if you need anything." The Tallahassee Police Department opened an investigation into Avis Anderson's disappearance. According to incident reports and media coverage, detectives conducted multiple searches at her home after she was reported missing. Local reports indicate cadaver dogs were used during those search efforts. But despite these attempts, no remains were found. No evidence of foul play was publicly identified, and no clear answers emerged. Over time, the case appeared to stall. Years passed. Avis's home remained empty. Bills went unpaid, and the property was eventually sold at an auction in 2022. On June 3, 2022, nearly 2 years after Avis was last seen, A worker from Junk Pro arrived at the Wesley Drive home to clean it out after the property was sold. Around 1:50 p.m., the worker made a horrifying discovery: a decomposed human body. Tallahassee police responded to the scene. Forensic teams worked inside the home, including in the garage, for several hours, remaining on scene until around 7 o'clock p.m. The remains were so badly decomposed that visual identification was not possible. Police confirmed that DNA analysis would be required. Publicly, they stopped short of confirmation, but indicated they believed they knew who the remains belonged to. On June 7, 2022, the Tallahassee Police Department released a statement. They said they believed the remains found inside the home were that of Avis Anderson. However, they were still awaiting positive identification and cause of death from the medical examiner's office. Police did not state whether foul play was suspected. They also did not publicly specify exactly where in the home the remains were found, only that it was discovered during the cleaning process. At the time, TPD said detectives are working diligently to determine at what point Anderson may have returned home. That statement raised disturbing questions. Police had searched Avis Anderson's home multiple times in late 2020, yet no sign of her was found. So based on what police said publicly, investigators were left asking, when did Avis Anderson end up back in her own home? Was she there the entire time and somehow missed during those searches? Did she return home later? Or does the timeline raise the possibility that her remains were not in the home during the initial investigation? The timeline raises serious questions. And without final confirmation from the medical examiner on identity and cause of death, those questions remain unanswered. As of the last available reports from June 2022, authorities were still awaiting autopsy results and positive ID. For Avis's family, who spent nearly 2 years searching and pleading, there are still no definitive answers. Our thoughts are with the family and loved ones of Avis Anderson. Anyone with information about this case should contact the Tallahassee Police Department. You can also submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers. That information is listed in the description below. As we close out this episode, remember that sharing Avis's story helps keep attention on a case that still raises serious questions. For updates on this case and others, follow Hunting for Answers. You can also connect with us through our Facebook group and find us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And if there's a story you think should be highlighted on Hunting for Answers, reach out to us. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Until next time. Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network. For more podcasts from the Black Effect Podcast Network, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Stay connected with our community by joining our new Facebook group. The link is in our bio.